So I'm pretty nihilistic, and it doesn't make sense for most people. It doesn't make sense for a lot of people, to be honest. And sure, if life insists upon itself, then I would get to a certain degree why most people fall for the illusion of meaning. But I don't know, I'm going to walk you through my thought process and try to make sense of it as much as I can, even though nothing in existence, if existence is even real, makes any sense to me whatsoever. So if you say that life has no meaning, a lot of people will usually respond with something like, oh, if life is meaningless, then, why haven't you ended your life? And maybe that's a fair question, but at the same time, I don't know. To me, it's always pointed out some kind of like cognitive dissonance that we have to endure, I guess, in order to make, experience possible, I guess. Because when I really analyze that, what does it mean that your life has meaning just because you are continuing your existence, I guess? Because if you correlate meaninglessness and death together, then all existence is just delaying the inevitable. You're just delaying the meaninglessness of your life, so to speak. So I feel like this is just something that people have been like, I don't know if like coded to say is something I should say. Well, like, I don't know if I'm being honest, like it sounds like such an NPC response to me, because like what are you really saying when you say that? Like you attach meaninglessness and death together, but you know that death is inevitable anyway. So what are you actually justifying in the middle? I don't actually understand. Okay, so sure, in between being born and dying, I suppose whatever's in the middle is a good enough distraction. And that's, kind of like what I said, good enough, I guess, if I'm still here. But I don't actually have it in me to pretend that it's something meaningful. It's, what I just said, it's a distraction. So humans have a repeated pattern of fearing the unknown. And if that's the case, I guess you would need to cling on to some kind of meaning just to cope in some way. But I don't know, it doesn't work for me in comparison to like most people. Like, I know why you're doing that. Like, if you feel so lost, then of course you need to insist meaning just to feel better, I guess. But I don't know. To me, it just looks like a house of cards. Even the belief in an afterlife is, under the impression that this isn't actually good enough. Like a lot of people can believe in the afterlife, I imagine, because, oh, death can't be the end. Like everything I've done can't be for nothing. Well, what if it is, honestly? What if everything we're doing is for nothing? And I wouldn't even say maybe, like it really looks like everything we're doing is straight up just for nothing, actually. Like when you look at the philosophy of time, then I think our sense of time is actually pretty distorted. Like people always idealize the future. Like they're expecting something better. They long for something better. Or we constantly think about the past because we have memories that haunt us, or memories that we wish we could relive again, but nobody actually likes being in this present moment because it's boring. It's like when you're right here, right now, just erase everything from your past and, erase your desires for like the future, let's say, and you're just like in this moment. It's filled with, nothing but boredom. Like there's no trajectory in the actual present moment. And if you consider that perspective of time, like just right here, right now, I think it would be called like presentism. There is nothing here that's being offered. Like you need something that jumpstarts, I don't know, a made up timeline in your head technically, because of like said memories from the past or whatever it is that you're gonna project like into the upcoming future or whatever. Like we're just here technically, and nobody actually likes this. Like it's actually boring to a lot of people. Like there's a quote that I saw on Insta that hasn't left me. It said something like, all of man's problems stems from his inability to sit in a room alone. David Hume brought up the problem of induction, which is basically anything that we've gathered from the past cannot say anything about a future that can't actually be tested. So it kind of reveals just how like disorganized the entire universe and existence actually is. But a lot of people do find, comfort in predictability. But if you offer a philosophy like determinism to a lot of people, they don't like that either, because the notion of having no free will, means that you don't have a sense of control. And people also don't like that. So if you're, caught in between like both of these dilemmas, then do we actually know what we want? Like, it doesn't seem like it. When people ask what is truth, it's referring to the problem of criterion in philosophy, which is basically what exactly is the criteria for knowledge itself. And if we're asking that, what even is it that we're asking when we ask that? Like, well, obviously you wouldn't know. I don't. It seems like no one actually would. If a priori knowledge is just something that's innate within a person, it's knowledge that you can't actually detach from. Therefore, it's a bias. If you're talking about a posteriori knowledge, then it's knowledge that you gather from experience in which you wouldn't know unless you went through that experience. So the notion of, I guess, let's say consciousness or existence being built upon an inner and an outer world is a contradiction in coexistence. But if that's how, I don't know, reality is built, let's say, then I'm inclined to call it, nonsensical. Life does not make any sense. It is completely meaningless.